Welcome to Eagle News. Hello, I'm Parker.
Hello, I'm Avi.
We are so glad you could join us today. In today's episode, we will report about Eversole Run Middle School news, national news, Ohio news, teacher focus, science news, riddles, technology news, and much more.
In U.S. news, Black History Month is an annual celebration of achievements by African Americans and a time for recognizing their central role in U.S. history, also known as African American History Month. The brainchild of this noted historian Carter G. Woodson and other prominent African Americans. Since 1976, every U.S. president has officially designated the month of February as Black History Month. Other countries around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, also devote a month to celebrating Black history. This week was chosen because it includes the birthdays of both Frederick Douglass, an abolitionist, someone who wanted to end the practice of enslaving people, and former U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. President Lincoln led the United States during the Civil War, which was primarily fought over the enslavement of black people in the country. Many schools and leaders began recognizing the week after its creation. The week-long event officially became Black History Month in 1976 when U.S. President Gerald Ford extended the recognition to honor too often regulated accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Black History Month has been celebrated in the United States every February since.
The month of February is designated as Black History Month. In the United States, it is a time to honor the important role African Americans play in the story of our country. The idea began as a week-long celebration in 1926, organized by historian Carter G. Woodson and others. It coincides with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass, a brilliant orator who escaped slavery and spent the rest of his life working to stop it, and President Abraham Lincoln, who issued the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, which led to the eventual end of slavery in the U.S. Others who fought to end slavery include famous women like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. Woodson's idea caught on, and soon schools and communities around the country began organizing celebrations, starting history clubs, and hosting events to learn more about Black history and culture. The Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s sparked even greater interest in the many accomplishments of notable African Americans, who excelled in all areas of life despite obstacles and hardships, like scientist George Washington Carver, educator Mary McLeod Bethune, baseball great Jackie Robinson, entertainer Oprah Winfrey, and President Barack Obama. Black history is American history. Black History Month is a special time to focus on and learn more about Black culture and people of African descent who have made American life richer. How is Black History Month celebrated in your school or community?
On this date in history, 1943, World War II, Franklin D. Roosevelt travels from Miami to Morocco to meet Winston Churchill, becoming the first American president to travel overseas by airplane.
In science news, what are sedimentary rocks? Sedimentary rocks are formed on or near the Earth's surface. The most important geological process that leads to the creation of sedimentary rocks are erosion, weathering, dissolution, and precipitation. Erosion and weathering include the effects of wind and rain, which slowly breaks down large rocks into smaller ones. Erosion and weathering transforms boulders and even mountains into sediments, such as sand or mud. Dissolution is a form of weathering, chemical weathering, which this process water that is slightly acidic slowly wears away stone. These three processes create the raw materials for new sedimentary rocks.
In math news, what is statistics? Statistics refer to the study of collecting, analyzing, interpreting, presenting, and organizing data in a particular manner. To sum it up, you may refer to it as the mathematical discipline where the collection and summarization of data are carried out. Thus, you see that they are classified facts that represent the state of affairs of a state, its citizens, and more. Basically, we can state that these facts in numbers are tabular forms, as a famous statistician defines as a statement of facts in numerical form, which we can apply to any department of inquiry with relation to one another. Statistics refer to the study of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting, presenting, and organizing data in a particular manner. To sum it up, you may refer to it as a mathematical discipline where the collection and summarization of data are carried out. Thus, you see that the classified facts that represent the state of affairs of a state, its citizens, and more. Basically, we can state that these facts and numbers of tabular forms. As a famous statistician defines it as a statement of facts in numerical form, which we can apply to any department of inquiry with relation to one another.
In social studies news, what is the stock market? A stock exchange or stock market is a system for buying and selling securities or stocks and bonds. A stock is a share in the ownership of a company. A bond is an agreement to lend money to a company for a certain amount of time. Companies sell securities to people to get the money they need to grow. People buy securities as investments, ways of possibly earning money. Many countries have one or more stock exchanges. Some important exchanges are the New York Stock Exchange in the United States, the London Stock Exchange in England, and the Tokyo Stock Exchange in Japan. These and other exchanges do much of their business building at the NASDAQ in the United States. It is an exchange that does its business electronically or online.
In National Day calendar news, today is National Dress Up Your Pet Day and National Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day.
In health news, how do we hear? Hearing is the ability to detect sound. Humans and other mammals are able to do this with the help of an organ called ear. The word ear is used to refer to the outer ear and a group of nerves and the muscles hidden inside called the inner ear. The outer ear, or pinna, is the first step in hearing. It directs sound energy down the auditoria canal towards the eardrum. Sound that passes through the eardrum is simplified into one amplitude that is detected by the inner ear and transmitted to the brain. The inner ear is a hollow cavity that is filled with a liquid and lined with hair-like structures that are sensitive to sound when passes through into the liquid of the linear ear. It applies on the tiny hairs that triggers a signal to the brain, which is interprets as a particular sound. Now it's time for this week's Eagle Recognition Awards. Each week we pull out 6 Eagle Recognition Award winners. If your name is pulled, please come down to the office to see Miss Moses to claim your prize. Good luck.
This is this week's Eagle Recognition Awards. First, we have Anish Nelamapudi by Dr. Blue for Service Minded.
We have Steele Hennigan for being service-minded by Miss DeWitt.
We have Hadley Lakorchik from Miss Falk for being ownership.
We have Martin Roland for being service-minded and having respect by Miss Burkoff.
We have Chase Schwady by Miss Angler for having ownership.
We have Tessa Calmore for having ownership by Miss Phelps.
We have Tommy Simpkins for being service-minded from Miss Greco.
We have Hergie Carbanda for having respect by Miss Johnson.
We have Ben Lloyd for having ownership by Mr. Simmons.
We have Braden Wilkins for being service-minded and having respect by Miss Phelps.
The inspirational quote of the day is "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken" by Oscar Wilde. I think this means everyone is special and should let their amazing qualities show. I will remember this.
Well, that's the Eagle News for today. If you have a story you would like to be featured on Eagle News, please let Mr. McNeil know. Here at Eversalt, we are creating a community of excellence by being positive, working hard, and respecting the uniquenesses of ourselves and each other. See you next week and have an amazing day.